Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to my tips and tricks on Thursday. My name is Lucia Visentin and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. As you do hop on, say hi. We'd love to know who's about and who's watching. Have a little chat. I think I've got my volume up again, so just let me check. Always seem to do that on a Thursday. I'm always a little bit more organised on Monday nights. So tips and tricks, still working on markers. I've still got another little thing that I can show you that's a little bit different with markers, a little bit of watercolouring or fake watercolouring, because there is the promotion going for the starter kit. That is why I've been doing markers for the past few weeks. The promotion for Celebration, if you do join, so it's $169 to join, which is the cost that it usually is. With that $169 though, you have two options. So you pay the $169, you get to choose $235 worth of products. So already you're ahead. You don't pay any shipping and handling as well, so that's a really good deal. But then with Celebration, you actually get to choose 2 packs of Stampin' Write markers. Now the packs both have 10 markers in them. So they're about $62, a little bit over $62 each. So that's over $164 worth of product for free. Plus you get a stamp set. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is you can actually receive another $51 worth of product. So like both options are fantastic anyway. So so do take one of them up if you're thinking of putting in an order of $169 worth, because you might as well join and get your 20% discount and join the wonderful community that is Stampin' Up as well. So they are the options. That is why I'm doing the Stamp Write markers. So let us go round and I will show you what we are doing today. And I'll try and get up a little bit closer than usual even today as well, because I will be working on something quite small. Hello Renee, how are you? Hope you're well. So firstly, I am using, because we are doing watercolouring, I am using the Fluid 100 paper. So that is very important. I have also just done a little bit ahead of time too. So I have actually done a little bit of embossing on my watercolour paper. Good afternoon, Renee. Renee, I said hello to Renee. Good afternoon, Natalie, sorry. So what I've done, I've actually realised I don't have a lot of stamps I can colour in. So this is really tiny, so I might even go a little bit closer again so that you can see what I'm doing. But I really don't colour a lot. So I tend to purchase images that I can stamp without colouring. So now that I've actually been doing a fair bit of colouring, I'm thinking I need to purchase some more stamps that I can actually do some colouring with, because I have really been enjoying it, I must admit. So something I did want to show you is in our annual catalogue, and now I'm really close up, sorry. But when I'm talking about colour families, these are the colour families I'm talking about. So the markers come in a pack with all of these colours in it. So they are the subtles, they are the regals, then you've got the brights, and you've also got the neutrals there as well. Okay, so there's quite a few colours to choose from. The colours I am using today, 2 of them are from the subtles, and I think one of them might be from the neutrals. No. And then from the regals, I've got Old Olive. Good afternoon, Anita, how are you? Embossing them, because I'm embossing them, it's actually going to keep the colour in the petals as well, which is another little bonus. When you are embossing on the fluid paper though, I have discovered that you're not to heat it for too long. If you heat it for too long, the embossing powder almost gets absorbed by the paper. Because you're heating it, you're making it liquid, and it just absorbs into the paper, so you don't get that nice raised effect. So you've just got to do it just until it turns. Once it turns and goes shiny, stop. I know I've had trouble in the past embossing on watercolor, and I'm sure that's the reason. You're just overheating it, and that's what I had been doing as well. So like I said, colours, I have Highland Heather. Mossy Meadow isn't what I wanted. I did want Old Olive, so let's grab Old Olive because I think Old Olive is nicer. Old Olive and Pool Party. Alrighty. What I've also got is my, you can use water painters. Now our water painters, sorry, I'm just going to have to grab one from on my desk here. Because water painters is what you would generally use, which are these here, and you can tell mine have been used to death. Well, not to death, I just use them on the one thing all the time. But I'm actually going to use a Wink of Stella that I have filled with water. The reason for that being is I get more use out of my empty Wink of Stellas. Because this is a newly emptied one, it actually still has a little bit of Wink of Stella in it too. So it does make things that little bit shiny and glossy also. Just got a tissue so that I can just get some of the, and you can still see like it's quite glittery. That's probably just mainly around the head of it though. The reason why it's this colour is because I have been watercolouring. I have to show you what I've been doing. I'm getting some swaps ready. So I have done a whole heap of butterflies and I have been watercolouring those. So with these ones, I've been watercolouring them with the pencils. So I've been getting the pencils. I've just been putting my nib to the top, my brush to the top of the nib, and then just going on and colouring it that way. So that's probably a really good technique I can show you for another day as well. So let's start with this one anyway. So what I'm going to do first is with the brush tip, and I'm going to have to take my glasses off, which means I can't see my comments very well. I'm just going to lay down a little bit of colour where it would be darkest on the petal, and all I'm doing is pulling out the colour from that line that I have drawn. I'm going to do alternate petals. Good afternoon, Glenda, how are you? The reason why I'm doing alternate petals is I'm just going to give this one here time to dry before I do the one next to it. It shouldn't be too much of a problem because I've got the embossing and that is holding in, like just pooling the water in that section. But again, I'm just, sorry, I think I'm shaking the camera a bit. I'm just pulling out the colour from that line. So we can just work our way around. Now I hope you can see what I'm doing. I can bring you in a little bit closer if you like. So again, just drawing the colour out. If your nib starts getting a little bit too watery, just dab it on your tissue. Get some of that water out. But can you see how it's dragging the colour out? And giving it a little bit of a shimmer too with that Wink of Stella on there as well. So it is just a nice little technique. It's very easy. And we all know that I love easy techniques. But it still looks quite effective as well. So I'm just leaving the tip of my brush in that colour just to get the colour out of the line that I have drawn. Again, Yeah, see, this would be wonderful for the wings on butterflies. It would work really well. But can you see I'm almost muddling that colour in there? So just trying to get rid of the really, really hard line and just making it so it is that little bit softer. We might do a few petals, just so I'm not here too long. As long as I'm working fast enough, it's fine to do a few. You don't want it to dry completely, because I would think it would be harder to draw that colour out. Now tell me if I'm not in view. I'm not really looking at what I'm doing on the screen very much. I'm concentrating. Like I said, just muddle it up a little bit, pull and drag that colour out. Like I said, because you've got the embossing there, you know that the water's not going to come out of that little area as well. And once we get to those little bits inside, now remembering I've got some of my old markers, but you can go with the other tip. Because it's finer, you're going to get it into those little crevices a bit easier. As you can see, I'm just getting rid of those harsh lines. And if you feel bits of it need a little bit more colour, like here I think I've probably dragged too much of the colour out, I can just go back. Because it's the watercolour Fluid 100 paper, it will actually take a fair bit of colour as well. Now I've actually just got to look at this to see where the petals are as well. Like I said, I just want to get it on a fair bit of it so that I'm not going back all the time. And like I said, if we work fast enough, you'll be able to drag the colour out still. So you'd probably want that line on a bigger image. You'd probably want that line to be a little bit thicker so that you can get more of the colour out of it. Because this is such a tiny image, I think this is working quite all right. There, and we might even, I don't mind the inside of it being a little bit darker. We might do the same to this one too. Just do a few of those so it is darker. So again, just do the edges. Make sure I don't do the leaf. I'll just do a little blobby bit in the middle. Good afternoon then, lovely to see you. Always love it when you're able to hop on. I'm so glad I come on a Thursdays, because I know during the day suits you so much better than our evenings. So again, just muddling and dragging. Actually, do you know what? I've done all of that in the one go, and that's actually, that flower still looks fine. So I don't think it matters if you go one at a time or a whole bunch of it. So again, with the old olive, I'm just going to colour those veins. We'll get some of that colour off my brush, and we're just going to drag that colour into the whole of that leaf. So again, with this one, just doing those veins. might do this one too. So I'm just drawing in between those veins. So again, don't have to be too careful. For those of us who aren't into colouring or watercolouring that much. Oops, and that still gives you quite a nice look. So then, to finish that off, we can just do a little border all the way around it as well. I'll just show you what this does. And again, just drag that colour out. So what I'm trying to get rid of is a really harsh line from around it. Dragging that colour out a little bit. Let's go around the rest. So again, just working on dragging that colour out. Sorry, sound very repetitive, don't I? Drag that colour out. So like I said, just muddle your way around it. And it'll just give you a nice little halo effect around the whole thing. I was actually really happy with this little technique because for someone who's not, I'm not an avid watercolorer at all. I'm not even casual. I don't watercolor hardly at all. So for me, this actually works really well because it looks quite impressive. But I haven't had to use all those beautiful techniques that you use when you're actually watercoloring. Mainly because I don't know them yet. I do have to learn them. And I will one day. When I've got some spare time, I will actually do some proper watercolouring. There you go. That just gives you a little bit of an outline around that as well. I hope that shows up a little bit on camera. Look, it's not too much, but it's just a little bit. And if you want it darker, you can still go round and put a little bit more colour around that as well. So like I said, that is another little technique. Now, the stamps that I did use for that was Lifetime of Love. So that's a really gorgeous wedding stamp set. So I will turn that into a card later as well. Oh, thank you. I try. I try to watercolour. Like I said, I'm not brilliant, but like I said, I'll get there one day. When I actually practice a bit more, I think is the thing too. And that's what everything is when you're crafting. The more practice that you do, the better you do become at things as well. So I do have a host code as well. So if anyone is placing an order at all, there is my host code. The other thing I did want to let you know is, and I don't think I've got them close by, but the alphabet a la mode are back in again. So if you're wanting to put in a celebration order, once you get to $100, you can actually earn the alphabet a la mode. And I'm pretty sure they're like $74. So it's worth spending your $100 because to get those for free, you're getting everything almost half price then, aren't you? Like it just, that would work really well. And it's really great because you've actually got repeats of a lot of the letters as well. The A, the E, the I, R's, S's, T's. And there are numbers as well, which I didn't realise when I got mine as well. I did think it was just the letters. So you are getting numbers. But there are heaps of other great little products there that you can get for free during celebration too. So a really quick one today. Again, thank you so much for watching me. I do appreciate you all. I hope that you have learnt something because I had, because that's a little technique that I hadn't used before, and I do actually really love. Like I said, I will I think I will use that more so now, and on smaller stamps I think it actually works better too, because you've not got that huge amount that you're trying to drag the colour into as well. So have a lovely, lovely rest of your week and weekend, and I will, hello John, and I will see you all on Monday night. Thank you very much. Have a good day now. Bye.